Hi, everybody. Matt Bernier, joined by Woodbine and Jeff Bratt. Look at the play of the day for Saturday, August the 4th, race number 7, a 2-year-old stakes race on the main track, 5.5 furlongs. The Shady Well. Jeff, we've got to feel the 7 fillies signed on here. And I said before we came on, I don't want to downplay this race, but I don't really find there's too many interesting alternatives to the logical choices in here. I think you may agree.
I do agree with that assessment. You try to look at this and think which of these 2-year-olds is really going to make next step in a race like this. And trying to bank on some of the horses that have run to this point just maybe once, it's hard to say, you know what, they're going to improve significantly second time out in here. Whereas with Tis Breathtaking and Sailing By, I expect both these to continue to improve on what they've done to this point. They both have run twice. Now, Tis Breathtaking, that was easily the best horse last time out. It was a bit of an ugly trip. Got bumped on a couple of different occasions by my gal Betty, who eventually got disqualified. And as well, you got to be a little bit clever when playing these races from Woodbine, because that last race, that was an open event. This race is for Ontario bred, so this is a significant drop down in class for Tis Breathtaking.
You also factor in that My Dear Stakes. Timeform US had the pace slow early on, and you accompany that with all the little issues that she had. Certainly a big effort and one of the horses to beat in here. You brought by, I think you and I are both intrigued by her. That most recent start broke first time blinkers for Cassie. I thought she was professional, and the form of that race has come back pretty good so far.
It has, and the fact that I thought on plate day you had to be close to the pace, and this one overcame some obstacles and ran against the bias as far as I'm concerned to win going away on that day. And the third place finisher, CC Tequila, has come out of that race to move with a 75 buyer, which would win this race probably with relatively ease, you would think. I like the fact that Husbands is aboard, and this horse has got the whole Lexi Lou connection as well with this outfit too. The dam is from the same family as Lexi Lou, as a matter of fact. So I do like Sailing By in this spot as my top selection with Patrick Husbands riding. If I had to find a bit of a wise guy horse in this race, it might be the number 3, this being Apella, who I thought definitely outran her odds last time. I know that she was maybe the 3rd or 4th choice in that race, but she gave a really expensive Barcassi horse all that she could handle on a turf course that was listed as firm back on July the 15th. So that might be my wise guy play to hit the exacta.
Yeah, I'm with you on Sailing By. I just kind of liked everything about that win most recently. And you brought up CC Tequila coming back and winning as nicely as she did with the figure that she earned. I also think it's interesting when you look at the buyer as opposed to the Timeform rating. Buyer-wise, she's a little bit light. She would need to move forward. But from Timeform standpoint, she actually has the highest last-out figure in the entire field. So I think Sailing By is very, very solid in here. I'm curious your thoughts on the other Cassie in here, the number 4, Syllable. Syllable is a little bit intriguing to me simply because I usually like to look for the paired-up buyer tops, and she did that in each of her first 2 starts with the 47, so she clearly needs to move forward there. But the fact that she won over a horse called Stifling, and Stifling came back and won in her next start with a 69 buyer, do you think there's any scenario where Syllable can get in here with the number?
Yeah, absolutely. And they paid a decent buck for this horse too, and I don't mind the spacing with this horse too, because here at Woodbine, it's very difficult to get the allowance races to fill at this time of the season for the 2-year-olds. So once you win, you're almost forced to get a freshening, and now the horse has been freshened and returns in the stakes engagements. The one really interesting thing for me too in this race is there's all kinds of jockey shuffling in here. Husbands rode Syllable in the first 2 career starts. Now it's going to be Boulanger as Husband sticks with number 1, that being Sailing By.
Looks like there are 2 horses in here that are pretty solid. The Saturday Woodbine play of the day, the 7th, the Shady Well. The 1 Sailing By, the 5, Tis Breathtaking. Jeff and I both like the 1, but if you're looking for some prices, Jeff's intrigued by the 3. I'm intrigued by the 4. We'll see what we can do here, but at the end of the day, we're both on the number 1 Sailing By in the Shady Well, race number 7 at Woodbine. The Woodbine play of the day for Saturday. Scheduled post time is 4:18 Eastern. Best of luck.